Across its 40-year history in Formula One, Team Enstone won 3 constructors' titles, 4 drivers' titles, and has had 5 different names. What was once Toleman is now the Alpine F1 team, and while the name appears to be sticking around, the team's drivers and managers are not. After 6 races in 2025, Alpine has already changed its driver lineup and lost its team principal. So it's safe to say that the season so far has been a turbulent one for Team Enstone. Now, with all the news of driver sackings and team departures, you might be left wondering, what the heck is going on at the Alpine F1 team? Alpine's change in its driver lineup was expected, with rumours about the departure of Australian racer Jack Doohan rumbling through the paddock almost as soon as he was announced as an Alpine racer. Now, after 7 races with the team, Doohan has been kicked to the curb, and Argentine racer Franco Colapinto has been given his seat. Promoting Colapinto to the racing lineup at Doohan's expense was on the cards in the weeks and even months leading up to Alpine making the move official. The team signed Colapinto as a reserve driver in the winter break, which piled the pressure on Doohan's shoulders before he had even turned a wheel on his Alpine racer. This meant that almost as soon as the F1 season started, Doohan was thrown to the wolves and forced to bat off questions about his future before he'd even taken to the grid for the season opener in Australia. This left Doohan with the not-so-simple job of proving that he deserved that Alpine seat. Over the ensuing races, the young Australian showed flashes of raw pace on one lap. He outqualified his much more experienced teammate twice out of 8 races, and that included the sprints. But this meant Pierre Gasly outperformed Doohan on 6 occasions, and the Frenchman also has points to his name, while Doohan has not. And then there's the man who replaces him. Colapinto's star was on the rise after an impressive start with Williams last season. The Argentine replaced American driver Logan Sargent for the final 9 races of 2024, and he impressed, scoring 5 points over those 9 races. While Williams passed on giving him a full-time seat, other teams were interested, including Red Bull's junior team and Alpine. The French side signed Colapinto as its reserve, and has now given him 5 races to prove that he has what Doohan lacked. But while the writing was on the wall for Doohan's departure, it was preceded by a slightly more shocking move. Team boss Oliver Oakes resigned from Alpine. The departure of Oakes was not expected, and in the Miami Grand Prix, just days before news broke, he was on hand smoothing over rumours that Colapinto was about to get called up. But before the dust had even settled on another Miami Grand Prix, Oakes had handed in his notice. The Brit joined Team Enstone last July, following the departures of Bruno Famin, who replaced Otmar Snafenauer. With Flavio Briatore now leading the team, this means Alpine has worked through 4 bosses in less than 5 seasons. The timing of Oakes' resignation could be nothing more than coincidence, but there are many who believe that there's no such thing as coincidence in F1. Instead, some suspect that his departure came as he wanted to give Doohan a chance to claim his first F1 points, while Briatore wanted Colapinto in the car as soon as possible. It seems like Briatore got his way, and Oakes could have seen this as the Italian stepping outside his jurisdiction at Alpine. After all, it was thought that Oakes' responsibility at Alpine lay with the fortunes of the race team, while Briatore dealt with the commercial matters. This is similar to how things work at McLaren, where Zach Brown and Andrea Stella split the running of the championship lead inside. But in the hours after Oakes' departure, Briatore made steps to silence rumours of a rift in the team. He released a statement saying that any allegations of a disagreement at the squad were completely false and far from the truth. Me and Ollie have a very good relationship and had long-term ambitions to drive this team forward together, Briatore said in a post on Instagram. We respect Ollie's request to resign and have therefore accepted his resignation. The reasons are not related to the team and are of a personal nature. Oakes' own statement in the aftermath of his exit followed a similar line. It is a personal decision for me to step down, he said. Flavio has been like a father to me, nothing but supportive since I took the role. But despite the efforts of both, there are still those who believe Briatore called the shots at Alpine, and Oakes was left with the unenviable task of justifying every decision on his behalf. His exit marks the latest in a seemingly endless stream of team changes and transition for the Enstone team. 5-year plan after 5-year plan has so far yielded little for the Alpine team, which last picked up a race win at the chaotic 2021 Hungarian Grand Prix, where ex-racer Esteban Ocon stood on the top step of the podium. For anyone keeping track, that was 4 team bosses ago. In the years since it last tasted the winner's champagne, technical staff have also jumped ship, driver lineups have changed, and the team has struggled with F1's reinvented regulations, which have seen it fall backwards through the pack. But with Oak in charge, the ship seemed to have steadied, and progress was happening. At the end of 2024, Alpine even managed a double podium in Brazil, and Gasly seems to be getting on top of his new A525 in recent races. So was it just internal struggles that pushed Oaks to quit, or was there more at play that we don't know about? The mystery deepened in the days after Oaks' resignation, when it emerged that his brother, William Oaks, was arrested in the UK. William Oaks was a director at single-seater-side high-tech Grand Prix, and was arrested on the 1st of May, charged with transferring criminal property. Neither Alpine nor its former team principal have commented on the arrest, and Oliver Oaks hasn't been seen or heard from since his departure from the team was made official. But this new twist in the tale raises even more questions about the reasons behind his departure from the Enstone outfit. And now, the Alpine team is preparing to race at the historic Imola circuit for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix with a new driver at the wheel and no official team principal at the helm. That's because Briatore is not a full-time employee or even a license holder in F1. Instead, racing director Dave Greenwood is the grown-up in the room and will be the dedicated responsible person at the Imola race, according to Alpine. Briatore remains an executive advisor at the team, and while he's just a consultant at the Enstone side, he goes into this new race weekend as de facto boss of the Alpine F1 team and holds ultimate authority at the side. So what's next for the wayward Alpine team that no longer has an official captain at its helm? Well, the responsibility of appointing a new team boss could now fall at Briatore's feet. He'll be hoping for a team principal who shares his vision for the side in order to stop the seemingly endless cycle of hiring and firing. Thankfully, Alpine has a wealth of internal figures who could be lined up to step into the role. Greenwood is one, but the team also has other experts who have graced pit walls for years and could be logical successors. Otherwise, F1 is full of engineers ready to make the step up to team management, and Alpine could find a disgruntled boss at another outfit who's ready to jump ship. But before it can go hunting for even more new talent, Alpine needs to decide what its future really looks like. From next year, the team will make the move away from being a manufacturer in F1 to become a customer team. It will shutter its engine manufacturing unit, and instead of building engines in-house, Alpine will become a Mercedes factory side from 2026. That's the year that sweeping new engine regulations come into force and up the emphasis on electrical power in F1. And this begs the question, what is the Alpine F1 team going to become? McLaren has already proven that you don't need to be a manufacturer to win races, as it sources its engines from Mercedes and now leads both championships. Can Alpine manage a similar feat when the F1 rules are turned on their head in 2026? Stability will be key if it hopes of finding anything near McLaren's current success. Stability in its engineers, stability in its drivers, and stability in its management. If Alpine can't find that, it risks continuing down its own very peculiar path, where it operates in the midfield with a never-slowing carousel of personnel coming in and out, which is all interspersed with the odd surprising result and star driver signing. But those often leave after just a season or two in search of less volatile teams. Now may be crunch time if Alpine wants to deviate from its current ways and get serious about winning F1 races once again.